Hey Sudarshan, che è successo? I don't know, I told you, it's this program doesn't want to work with my computer, so somehow it keeps kicking me out. Sometimes it goes smooth and sometimes it just stops and it's not working. That's why I have 3 different channels, so I have to switch between 3 of them. And I can't do the streaming at the same time, unfortunately. So once I finish with the streaming, I can't re-stream again. I don't know. I've been asking the same question. And actually it's in real time, so it would be nice. But unfortunately it doesn't depend on me. Okay, so by the time the others are coming, I'll just write down with what I said. Okay. So I see that people are coming back. Fine. So if this happens again, switch between the channels. I have 3 channels in total. Okay, so somewhere hopefully I am going to appear. Okay. Bene. Did you manage to do this exercise here, this trick that I showed you, or I was thrown away before? To name, to read, to name the color, not the name of the color, but the color itself. Did you see this example before they stopped the connection? No. Okay. So this is a trick that you can do, and basically you have to name the color. Okay, so not what you see here, not the word, but the color. For example, blue, orange, green, gray, purple, pink, red, black, blue, etc. Okay. And you see what's going on here? So what happens is it's not that obviously we stop completely, but we react very, very slow. And obviously something like this in a critical situation would not be a good solution. Okay, so when I see that my car is on fire, I have to be able to stop immediately. Okay, I can't wait for my brain to work out the information. Okay, so why did this happen here? So why were naming the colors slowly? Because the way it looks, so it looks like red, okay, but the color actually is blue. So there are two stimulus that go in conflict with each other: the shape and the color. Okay, so when I write red and eventually I write it in red, then it works. When I write red but I color it blue, then it does not work. Okay, so this is called the strobe interference. So when the shape, the aspect, not the shape, but the aspect, so the way how something looks, interferes with what I would understand. Okay? Number two. Number two is called Gardner interference. Okay? And Gardner interference is the irrelevant variation of stimulus. Okay? How does this work? For example, if I have an image like this, so here I can clearly and in a very fast way say that I have one square, two circles, and two triangles. Okay? So if I continue in this way, so we had one square, circle, triangle, triangle, and circle. Okay? So this is easy. If I continue this column, this continues to be quite easy. So even here I can say, okay, there are three squares, six circles, and six triangles, because the shapes, or the way how those elements are arranged is exactly the same. Okay, so I can not even count one by one, but I immediately see them. What happens when I would do something like this? So the number of my elements is always the same. Okay, but in this case, can I quickly say how many squares and circles are there? Like in one second, just by looking at this image. Can I say this? I cannot, because here, in this case, I have to count. 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, and so on. So for me, seeing an image like this would be easy. Seeing an image like that and telling the number of the pieces is going to be very hard. Okay, because there is the variation in the stimulus. In this case, there is the variation in the shape that is irrelevant, that is not consistent. Okay, that is constantly changing. And this would interfere with my understanding, and thus to slow down my reaction. Okay, let's say I don't know, I'm driving somewhere, and the roads the road signs are in one way. Let's say all of the road signs are circle. Okay, so I'm my attention is attracted to round things, let's say. Okay, so when I need to check the speed limit, when I need to check if where I have to turn, okay, I'm searching for something circular, because all the road signs are circular. And then I come to the country where the road signs start to become square. Okay, I'm not used to this anymore. So again, in this case, my brain is going to go with interference. So obviously it's not that I'm stupid, I will stop, I will read, okay, but I won't be able to react immediately. Okay, and this is what the strop interference is going to be. Okay, so in this case, here I said the irrelevant variation of stimulus. What is stimulus? Stimuli or stimulus. It's whatever we are interpreting. For example, light is the stimuli, sound is the stimuli. So what we get with our sensory organs, and then afterwards what we interpret. Okay, the taste, for example. So the way that something is salty or hot or I don't know, sweet. Okay, so the taste of the food is the stimuli. Okay, so stimulus is one, stimuli is plural. So this is interference number 2. Okay. Okay. The third interference effect, let's go together third and fourth, because they go in group. One is called proactive interference and one is called retroactive interference. Okay. So I just wrote them together so you would see how they're written. What are those? In proactive interference, the existing memories interfere with learning. In retroactive interference, learning interferes with existing memories. Now, I know that it sounds a little bit complicated, especially in the morning and especially on this live session. The example of proactive interference, when my existing memories interfere with the mental process. Let's say the best example would be when you learn a language. Let's say you learn Italian, okay? And what you tend to do at a certain point is you tend to translate the phrase from your own language to Italian because you're more used to your own language, obviously. Okay, so you have been using it for all your life, and then you come to Italy and you start to learn a completely new language with new grammar and new construction of the phrases. What happens? You start to do mistakes. Because I'm used to say apple, and here I have to say la mela. So for my entire life it was apple, and now it's la mela. So in my entire life I was used to say red computer, so putting adjective in front of the subject, and in Italian I have to do it the other way around. Il computer rosso. Cioè, why can't I say rosso computer? Because in Italian you have to say il computer rosso because the adjective goes always behind the word. Like when a kid sees a screen and tries to slide it open because this is what he learned. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because he learned it before, because now, unfortunately, the kid learn how to read iPads, how to navigate through pictures on tablets, touch screens, etc. So they think that the real book can be zoomed, okay? But because their memory interferes with learning, this is sad, eh? In let's say our generation, it was the other way around. It was that we learned how to work with hard copies, Uh, my niece used to do this because she was used to phones and pads and stuff. Exactly. I remember when my son was smaller, and once I attached my tablet to television, so television became a huge tablet. And what he did, he came to TV and he started touching, so clicking the icons on the television, because he thought it was a tablet, because he was used to touch the icon of the tablet. And he started to do the same in television. Okay. um, so basically in this case, um, when you are when you have the memory, and this memory somehow interferes with the learning of new things. Okay, so I put it here. So this is something that you can see in Italy. um, I don't know how frequently you have the conversations with Italians, but a lot of them say, we see each other tomorrow. A lot of Italians make this mistake. But because in Italian, ci vediamo domani, ci vediamo, so we will see us, okay? In German, the same thing. It's the same way, okay? But in English, we say, see you. And a lot of Italians, actually, Italians, Germans, French people, say we see each other, because they translate directly from their own language. In Italy, I've heard this beautiful response when a foreigner said thank you, and the Italian said nothing. Okay, instead of saying you're welcome or not at all, they say nothing. Why? Because in Italian say grazie, niente, grazie, di nulla. Okay, and di nulla, niente means nothing. So this would be a proactive interference. Now you would say, but how why this would be adaptable to design? But because in design also, when I'm using something, I create a kind of a vocabulary, visual, I don't know, with hands, let's say, tactile, like so, etc. Okay, movements, especially in interfaces. Something that I learned is if I in Instagram I click the image and I hold it, it expands. Okay, so this is my existing memory. So I can for example, I can transmit this knowledge that I have maybe to another system. Double tapping to like, okay? So in Instagram we have this, and now in Facebook we have the same. Do you guys know that you can double tap on the picture to like? I personally learned it not so long time ago. Okay, but I could see it. In the app of Facebook, you can do this. Okay. Sorry, there is Marco who is messaging me. Okay, so for example, another thing, is when I go somewhere. Okay, this is a very beautiful example. Okay, so when I see these signs, go and stop. So I have learned along my entire life that red means stop. And all of a sudden, somehow I see that inside the red circle, I have go. So this is very strange. So there is something that's not working, because according to my memory, the one that means go has to be green. Okay, here what I have, stop, that is green, does not make sense. It does not make sense as well. Also something like this, where the check is red and the cross is green. So for me, green means okay, green means go, green means fine, but red is the color of warning, the color of I don't know, stopping, etc. So if I do something like this, people would have some problems of understanding. Okay, so here we have the so-called proactive interference. So I learned something before, and it interferes with the new learning. The retroactive interference is the interference, but the other way around. Okay, so in this case, the learning interferes with existing memories. Okay, what does it mean? It means that whatever I learn after interferes with what I have known before. An example is, let's say I come I come to Italy again. So when you arrived here, and you had to go to police office, right? So you had to do your permesso di soggiorno, etc. Okay, so what do you say? I go to questura, because you learn that the name of that place is questura in Italian, okay, whereas in English it's police office. So after 1 year, 2 years, I don't know, 5 years here in Italy, you start to call it actually questura. So you stop calling it police office. Instead of saying ice cream, you say gelato. Let's go and get some gelato. Okay? But because it's the word that the word that maybe is pronounced in the more easy way, but because it's fun, but because it's nice to hear because it's Italian, okay? So there are a lot of people that say, let's go and have some gelato. Let's go and have some aperitivo. So I rarely hear from the foreigners say, let's go to aperitif. And I don't think sincerely that even in English aperitif exists, okay? Aperitivo. Мам, слушай, вы там ничего не делаете, не телевизора, не стал, на третий раз выкидывает уже. Ничего там не читаете, я не знаю, что делать. Может, ни разу не пришли, вот он будет ничего не знаю, там вот что-то видеть, потому что сейчас опять да. Ну, я не знаю, что делать. Третий раз меня выкидывает. Guys, can you see me? Because it seems that the connection is there is something wrong with the connection. Okay. Because somehow it stopped and now it went on. Okay, that's good. So I was saying yes. So the learning interferes with what I know. For example, this is an image. In populations that have learned that traffic arrow always means go, the introduction of a red arrow in a new traffic light creates potentially dangerous interference. I personally have this issue when I go back to Russia. So here the arrow is or red or green. I don't know, guys, if you've ever tried to drive here in Italy, but on the traffic light usually you have sorry, this is a traffic light, so you have 3 lights, okay, and then there is no 10 obviously the sign, or like this, or like that, okay? So in one way or another you can understand, okay, so to go right, now I can, and now I have to stop, okay? So this is easily understandable. In Russia, for example, we have another small light, and if it's not lit, it means that you can't go, okay? So there is no red sign. For example, here it's green, okay? Here it's green, and here it's nothing. So if I see something like this, it means that I have to stop. As soon as I see green, I can go. Now, you tell me, when it's raining, when it's snowing, when it's foggy. So how can I see this extra section? It's almost impossible, okay? And especially after Italy, after that I learned that, obviously green has to be here, huh? After I learned that the error has to be or red or green. So I learned something that now interferes with my possibility to drive in Russia, let's say. Okay. In case of uh, interfaces, for example, the ones that we have, the I don't know, Instagram, so the apps that we have. So sometimes we learn things and we tend to do the same also on the objects that do not behave in the same way. I myself did this mistake, maybe I told you even in the class. I was looking at the photo album of my grandmother, and at a certain point, when I wanted to see a detail, I did like this on the photograph, on the real picture. And this was really funny because at a certain point I said, oh my god, I'm getting stupid. But because I'm used to zoom now, I learned to zoom like this. And I tried to do the same thing also with the real picture. Okay? So, if I would put the example, okay? I don't know. Do you guys have any problems? Anything that is not clear? So obviously when I am designing something, those interferences should be, if not eliminated, but be as little as possible. Okay, so obviously the best thing would be to eliminate them completely. Okay, sometimes it may not be possible in case of a retroactive interference, let's say. Okay, so they have to be minimized, because if not, you risk that your object, that your environment, that your interface becomes not so user friendly. Okay, do you have any questions? Is there something you would like to ask? Because if you do not, then I will pass on the critiques. By the way, guys, but except from Sudarshan, are you familiar with Zoom? So did you use it? Because eventually, if then I don't know, I have to see, especially for your final project. So since we'll have to do a lot of discussion. Okay. Since we'll have to do a lot of discussions, maybe I'll. But have you used it recently? So if someone says no because I have problems with this, obviously I'll continue with the streaming like we do. But especially in your class, since we will have to plan next class again, next class. I'm speaking about like 3 weeks from now. I know that it works well, yes, because I do the classes, because we still have our theater classes, and we were using this platform, and sincerely we had no problems. Um, Now obviously it's I don't know how much I would have to pay for that, but I think for you, so for discussion, and especially that you're in groups, so for group discussions, I think it would be better maybe if we do the last part of the semester in this way. Still, we have to see what happens, because maybe they open open everything. Okay, who wants to show me the project? Lobna, Edward, how is it going with your vase, with your ceramic vase? Vase, no, well, it's no vase, it's water storage. Okay. It's hard to find information. Yeah, well, unfortunately, yeah, it would be better for you if you could find it in real, but now with the situation, it would be hard for you. I'm wondering if you know someone who works with clay who we can talk to. Clay, no. In Florence, I know the workshop that works with ceramics, but I don't know exactly if they would try. It's not the same what you are doing. But the problem is now the place is closed. It's close to Santa Croce. Okay, let's see. Jessica, good storage is the backbone of. You can ask Vinay if he works with clay. Okay. Modular shelving can offer. Okay. Jessica and Emma, so this is going to be the shelving for the household, right? Because I gave you, in one of the topics I gave you was the shelving system for a shop. So this is going to be a shelving system for the household, right? Okay. Guys, don't forget that when you will do your final research reports, please use my, so not I'm not saying about yours, but in general, for the final one, not for critiques, but for the final one, please use the layout that I gave you in the class, okay? Or you can find it in my folder as well. Yeah, vertical gardening is beautiful. This one I've seen it. Okay. Uh, don't forget that in your research reports, when you will try, this is, I see that this is just a draft, okay? So in your research report, you will have, so when you put the images, figure 1, figure 2, etc., okay? So the table of contents, in the Google Drive there is the example, of the front page, how the numbers should be, etc. Okay, so please, yes, Vinay, tell me. Sure, you can make anything if it's available. Yes, I'm not asking for the model due to the fact that some people are in Florence, so they can't go out, and obviously I can't ask you to do that. Wow. Yeah, sure. If you are back in India, obviously you can do it. You can do it. Keep in mind that your research report will be around 35, maybe 40 pages, no less. So, average, I'm telling you. So, if you follow the schedule, the syllabus that I gave you, I'm reading, so at the same time, I'm. Okay. Emma, do you have Emma and Jessica? Do you have the examples, the sketches of what your object is going to look like? Um, okay, perfect. One question: the plants that are going to grow on those shelves are going to be eatable, or like this one? Like you can have just plants, or you can have, I don't know, basilico. So what type of plants? Now I didn't read thoroughly your entire research. Lobna says it's and it's already 40. Okay. And then when everything will be done, so at the end of the school, hopefully, that everything will open up again. I will ask you for the hard copy of the research report, okay? Because I think sending 50 pages over internet is going to be quite hard, okay? In case, obviously, you will not be here, you will not come back. So, so for those who are here, you can just leave it to me. You can leave it to the school, okay? For those who are not there, so somehow you can share it maybe on I don't know on or a Google Drive or again on ESU. But imagine that you'll have to upload a file that will consist of 50 slides. Okay, but I should be able to read it somehow. Mm-hmm. Okay, Edward, good. Good, good, good. The restaurant will use the plants for cooking. Okay, so there'll be no problem of having them where people are eating. Mm-hmm. Good. The concept is very interesting. So by next week, no, we're on the holiday. By next time, so next class in 2 weeks, I would like to see the sketches. Okay? So put up the sketches. Mm-hmm. Okay? Bene. Girls, I would put now I will open because you are in my also in my materials class. I will make let me make it now so I can send you the link, or I will put the link at the end of the video. Okay, so in the video that I have here, I will make a Google Drive folder where you can upload your mobiles, okay, the videos. Mm-hmm. Make it now, huh? Okay. So I'll make a new folder. I'll put mobiles submission. Okay, so you can, okay, so you can upload the works. Okay, I just write it here, maybe take a picture in case. I'll make it Tell this to Pooja, Kriti if they are not here, okay? The only thing is I don't know how to make it editable, so I don't know if you can. If you can put the pictures there. It doesn't show in the chat, Sudarshan. I don't know why, but the link can't be shown in the chat. Is there a possibility, because in the previous one, in the previous class that I did it, somehow people could not add their works there. No, it doesn't show. I copied and pasted, but it doesn't show. Can you guys try to post something in that folder? Because I don't know how to do it. I did somehow the same thing in the traditional seeds. No, you can't share the web addresses, unfortunately. Eccolo qua, può vedere, può modificare. Ecco. Okay, now I think you can do it, okay? I will add it to the description after I finish the course. I will add it under the description of the course, okay, in the comments here in YouTube. Okay, I'll put it as the description so you can copy it. Okay, bene. Have 10 minutes. Let's see. Anish, who sent me the Adil. Theo, how is Zoom for you? Did you ever use it? Because in case then after the spring break I'm thinking with your class to pass to this platform, so I don't know if someone will have problems. Obviously I'll have to keep it here because here everyone can see me, but in case of the other okay. Okay, Adil, I'm looking at your smart sofa. Okay, so you're doing a smart sofa. Haha, this is my sofa that I have. Okay. This is the draft, obviously, yeah? So when you will put it as the report, it has to be written in a correct way, yeah? Design attempt to enhance the lounging. Okay, Adil, in conclusion, you don't explain your project yet, okay? Guys, in the first two chapters, you are not explaining your project. You explain it only in the last one. Okay, so in here, in conclusion, it should be the conclusion of the previous things that you have said about the potential user group, about the products existing on market, etc., etc. Okay, so not your project. Okay, this has to go at the end. Eco leather. Not breathable. There are some breathable leathers, eh? There is some artificial leather, but that is breathable. Okay. Also, don't forget the fact that when you will write your references, okay, I ask you the particular Oxford reference. Directives are the rules, considerations. For example, if I'm designing a bed, so the standard size has to be no less than 190 depth, okay? This is a standard. So directive is something that can be standard, can be rule, can be some legal situations, okay? So this is what the directive is. Materials that I must use, for example, this can be also inside the directive. So I am designing a bus stop, and according to the directives, the material should not be anything but stainless steel because it's safe. Okay, this is a directive. Okay, so this is going to be your sofa with the loudspeakers. Ooh. And the storage. Storage for controllers. Controllers, you mean remote controls, right? Okay. The idea is nice. Is that I wouldn't put too many things inside. Okay, so right now you have fridge, storage, speakers, chargers. You don't need the house. You can live directly in the sofa. So, in my opinion, concentrating on something basic, for example, like here, the sofa that works with smart TV. Okay, I can charge my devices. Okay, there is storage, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, but here the important thing is that it's connected with television, and it gives me the possibility to charge. Same thing also here. This is an intelligent coffee table where I can have a charging port, Bluetooth, okay, refrigerator, but because it's a table, obviously. Okay, so I think in your sofa, reduce a little bit the components. Okay, it can be the sound system and storage, for example. Okay, another thing also, the sound, it's better when it's slightly higher, like if I'm going for something high tech. Okay, so if I want to create a kind of a cinema sit, then the sound has to be where my ears are, but not from the ground. Okay, oh, it can be from the ground but also above my head as well. Okay, so I think you should think in terms of reducing a little bit the components. Also, for example, the USB panel, etc. It's down here. Why, if I'm sitting here? So it has to be higher. Okay, so when I sit down, I'm making this lazy sofa. So I sit down, I take my earplugs, and I put them inside. Okay, but I shouldn't go all the way down to the floor almost. Okay. Bene. Okay. Good. Fine. This is okay. But still, reduce. Reduce the number of I will take the fridge out, sincerely. Okay. Maybe keep the storage and keep the music. So do something that is, I don't know, a sofa that will be connected to music only. Okay, so the sound system, the USB, etc., etc. That's it. Okay, so to concentrate on less things, and the shape as well. So think about how the shape is going to be. Okay, so it has to be something very cool. Okay, Adil. Bene. Guys, I will see you, some of you, still during this week, okay? But I will see most of you after the spring break, okay? So for mobile submissions, hopefully this works. So upload your videos here so I can go through them. Okay. And then on Friday I will see them. Okay, for the others, so continue working on your projects. Okay, I would like to see the sketches, well done sketches. Okay, continue with your research report. So if there is something that is not clear, you can always write me an email. Okay, so I can suggest. Yes, Lobna. Why? Very quickly. Thank you, Adil. You too. Have a good break. For the final research report, obviously, simple layout, the one that I gave you. This is just for presentation. Buona Pasqua, Sudarshan. Thank you. Okay, this I remember. There are a lot. This one is pretty. This one here. Lobna, did you use Zoom as well? Edward Lobna, have you ever used it? I'm just making a pool. I'm asking my students. I don't know if, because some people said that no, we don't like it. It's not working well. So I'm just asking so that everyone will be okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Edward, what about you? Okay. Can I ask you? It's so cool. Okay, decided. I'm reading, but very fast. Okay, then in any case, it will be open, so I'll read it after more carefully. Tell it's in my Google Drive. Just a second, guys. Allora, Olga Project Industrial Master, Thesis PDF. Okay. Further research, material, terracotta, pottery, la 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 la. This is so cool. And this would be your project. Good. So I can see it as something very modern. So maybe something like this. Yeah. So the shape, in my opinion, the shape should look like a sculpture almost, okay? So it should be like a kind of a sculpture that stands in my house that gives me fresh water, okay? So imagine something maybe like this, something like a big a big vase, okay, a big lamp, like a floral lamp, and then actually it's a water, and not necessarily the legs have to be shown, okay, so this can be as one single looks like a single feature. For example, like I can see it white ceramic standing in the somewhere in the corner of my kitchen. Okay, here the aesthetics have to be the most important factor. Okay, because for the functionality I think you have already solved a lot. Okay. No, you have to work on the shape, yes. Sure. But it has to be something extremely aesthetical, huh? Very, very aesthetical. Bene. Okay, guys, so Lobna will see you in a couple of hours. Okay, the ones I don't see, have a nice spring break. Ciao, guys. And I'll put a link at the description of the course, for the mobiles.